In this particular video, we are going to discuss what exactly happens when a scapegoat walks away or walks out of a dysfunctional family matrix. It can be a family matrix. It can be walking away from a toxic work environment. It can be walking away from maybe, a community setting or stuff like that, maybe a church. It can be anything. But first of all, we need to understand, why is the scapegoat walking away? The scapegoat is walking away because they have had enough. It is just as simple and plain as that. They have had enough. They have suffered abuse. They have suffered humiliation. All sorts of things and crap has been thrown towards their way. I don't know why I'm choking. Okay. All sorts of data have been thrown towards their way. So there comes a time when they get fed up. They are tired of taking everybody's pain, and they feel it is time for them to go away. Okay, they need to leave because they are extremely exhausted and they are extremely drained. And scapegoating will happen for a very long period of time. Scapegoating can happen for years. A person can be scapegoated for years. But there comes a time where you feel it's like enough. Okay, you've had all this BS and stuff and you feel it's enough. First of all, we need to understand something. Nobody was expecting you to walk away. They were supposed to throw you out, not you walking away voluntarily. So you catch them off guard. Because remember that you're dealing with a team of energy vampires. We're dealing with a team of psychic vampires. So most of them, it's like they have gotten used to this whole thing of when a person comes to work, and then it's like they're going to carry all their garbage that they have experienced at their home. Maybe something happened to their wives last night, and they come to work, and they're going to dump everything to one particular person so that they can feel better about themselves. That's what we call energy vampirism. And in the family, the same thing. So they're not expecting to walk in one day in this setting, and they see this particular individual that they used to treat as a pet. They see this individual is out of the place. Okay, now they don't know what to do with themselves. So now they're looking around because probably they've already gathered all the garbage from their homes, and they was intending to come around and dump it onto somebody else. Even if it's a family, a lot of them are going through stuff, and they have been hoping that every now and then, every day, every week or whatever, they are going to be dumping this garbage towards somebody. Now they come in, and there's nobody there. You're gone. You have most likely blocked them. They don't even know where you are. You've gone like invisible. You've gone ghost. They don't know anything about you. They might even try to call your numbers. They're not on. So you disappeared. You're gone. Normally what happens is that they go into panic. Okay, there's going to be a lot of panic. So between those members who used to do the abuse and stuff like that, they're going to go into panic. Okay, everybody will be asking questions. What happened to so and so? What happened to this one? What did they do? Where are they? And stuff like that. And nobody has got a clear answer as to exactly what happened or where you are. So now what happens is that the very first thing they do, first or second thing they do, they will now continue to do a smear campaign. So they want to make everybody believe that, you wasn't worthy of being around, so they want to be on the top, on the upper hand. They want to be at the upper hand. And they will try to make everybody believe that, yes, you are still a problem. You are shit. And they start now to talk a lot of garbage. The thing is, they could have been talking about all this garbage when he was in the system, when he was in the group. But when you go out, the garbage is going to intensify. That garbage is going to be thrown. A lot of shade is going to be thrown towards your way. Everybody has got to be made to believe that you are indeed a problem. So it has got to stay the rules are supposed to be to stay the same, whereby everybody continues to believe you have always been a problem. So they are going to throw a lot of rotten eggs towards your name, rub your name and smear your name in the dirt, and everybody is going to think that you are a very, very big problem. You're the problem child and stuff like that. If it's a family, for example, the narcissistic parent is going to hold a very, they call it like an emergency meeting, where they're going to gather everybody, family members and some, flying monkeys or enablers and people like that, and they're going to make you the topic of discussion. Personally, when I left the unit back in the years, I think it's about 3.5 years ago. So when I left the system, there was an emergency meeting immediately. Okay, so all of them now they came together, and I would later on learn that they was talking a lot of crap about me. Okay, these are family members, people that I used to think that is family. So when you know his family is family, you have always thought that everybody has got your back, but behind the scenes, they never had any good intentions for you. So they said a lot of crap about me, and I heard about it like maybe it was about 3 or 4 weeks later. So a meeting will be held, emergency meeting about you, and they are going to discuss everything everything you've done and you didn't do. They are going to talk about those things, and they are going to smear your name in the dirt. Now it is in your interest not to defend yourself. Okay, when the smear campaign is going on, it is going to be one of the most painful things, because those narcissists want to spoil you and your name to everybody around you that matters. So they're going to continue smearing your name. So don't defend yourself. You're a scapegoat, you've walked away. Just go out there and disappear. You don't have to come around and defend yourself. With time, the universe will, what do they call that word? The universe will show these people where the problem is, because the person that they're talking about is not around. Now, what is going to happen in the first 3 months? There'll be the smear campaign, but later on, after 3 months, it's like they are going to now start turning against each other, because remember that they are boiling up with a lot of garbage. They have always had a lot of garbage anyway, but this time they don't have anywhere to dump it. So they are going to now start biting each other. The reason why they are biting each other is because they are trying to find who else can hold that position. Who else can they point out that can hold the position that you held in that family system. So in most cases, when you are in the workplace, for example, they are going to find somebody else who is of a similar energy. So that's when you may start to hear somebody reaching out to you. They tell you, oh, you know what, when you left, these people, they started telling me funny things. They started dropping certain things towards me and stuff like that. So that is because they are desperate to have a trash can. And now that you've gone, they need to find an immediate trash can. So if it's in a family setting, for example, they are going to find an alternative source of supply. Normally, it can be the golden child. So everybody may turn to the golden child. So for me, in my situation, when I walked away of the system, everybody started pointing their barrows towards the golden child. And the golden child also realized that actually this whole thing was toxic. They could have never seen it before when I was still in the system. But they finally realized that this whole thing is toxic and everybody is toxic, and the golden child also extracted themselves out of the entire system. Now, behind the scenes, they are trying to hold the image of who they think they are. So it is not going to be otherwise. So you walking away, they don't want to feel that guilt that they have been the cause of those problems that caused you to walk away. So they have to hold themselves together and make sure that everybody still believes the same narrative, that what has been happening over the years. So that's the reason why the smear campaign is going, because they still want to keep the image that they are, they're okay. Sometimes you see the narcissistic parent, they'll come around, hold meetings because they're in panic and they're trying to point all these fingers and, oh, this guy used to do this and they used to do that. So now, normally, after a period of time, you're out there, you're quiet, you're doing you. You're not even bothered with whatever nonsense it is they're saying. So that's when now, which actually doesn't even take a very long time, that is when you see there may be some members who may reach out to you. Okay, there may be some members, because you see, you used to get it. The scapegoat, normally they are the black sheep of the family. They get it. They see the dysfunction, they see the patterns and everything. Sometimes they talk about them, sometimes they are gaslighted and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you get it. There's also other members who get it. But these members get it in a different way because they do get it, but at the same time they want to maintain the status quo. So they want to maintain the official narrative that is being played within the system. So they don't want to be put themselves at the front line because you're already at the front line at the time. So they don't want to put themselves at the front line whereby now everybody is going to turn their heads and their hands towards you. So basically, some of the members who get it will reach out to you. You may hear some things from cousins. The golden child may reach out to you and they may tell you what exactly is happening. Normally, the golden child is going to be the first contact when a scapegoat has walked away from a dysfunctional family system. It is the golden child that is going to be the first to contact the scapegoat. So they want to find out what happened. They want to get some details. They want some answers. Okay, you may tell them one answer or two, or you may sometimes not say anything at all, depending on what the situation is. But normally it's advisable to speak less. When you're contacted by these people, like golden child, some family members, cousins, aunties, or whatever, the less you speak, the better. Even sometimes it's advisable, don't say anything at all. Because those people have been sent your way on purpose. They have been sent your way because the narcissistic parent is worried. Or let's say the narcissistic boss is worried. Or they could say the narcissistic, it could have been a landlord, for example. And the narcissistic landlord is also worried that the narrative is crashing. The whole thing is, the facade is coming all the way down. And they are worried that they're going to be unmasked by other people that are in the unit. So they may sometimes send some people. Is when you might experience stalking. You may see people now showing up in your DMs, sometimes people showing up in your social media profiles and stuff like that. Very unusual messages coming to you, emails and stuff like that. Very rare numbers calling your phone and things like that. There's going to be a very intensive gang stalking going on because they're worried about what it is you're doing and what it is you're saying. Sometimes that's why they are coming on the social media because they feel like you might spill the beans. And when you do spill the beans, everybody else is really going to understand what happened, even if they may not say it, but they are going to behind the scenes understand what exactly happened. Because one of the things what I know with the scapegoat, when they do walk away from those kind of systems, there is something I've called back in the days in my videos. There's something I've called blowing the trumpet. So the scapegoat, those people, they are normally the truth seekers and also the truth tellers. So the entire system is worried that you may start spilling the beans. And these secrets that I've been trying to hide for so many years, they are trying to come out. And they're worried about their image. So they are trying to control everything to make sure that nothing backfires and everything stays in place, and everything stays intact. And they don't have to be held accountable for you leaving the unit, because that's the whole thing of a narcissistic person. They don't want any accountability of anything. They don't want somebody starting to ask them questions. What did you do that caused this person to leave? How did you treat them and the stuff like that? So they don't want to sit down there and start explaining themselves. Because it's like everything is like when they're trying to explain themselves in that situation, it is even giving them more exposure. So it's like they are exposing themselves more because now they are forced to tell people the truth. And that is the exact thing that they're running away from. They're running away from the truth. So stalking will also be some of the things that will happen. Workmates may start stalking you. Some of them may start calling you here and there. What are you doing? Oh, this and this. Somebody so and so was talking about you. So and so misses you. You may hear family members telling you things like, "Dad misses you. You need to come back to the system. We miss you," and stuff like that. They don't miss you. They do not miss you, ladies and gentlemen. Do not even get it twisted. None of those members misses you. There's one of the things you're going to learn as a scapegoat. It is going to be one of the most painful things you'll ever learn as a scapegoat. Those people never loved you. Let me say this one more time. Everybody you left behind in the narcissistic family matrix, in the dysfunctional family work environment, in the dysfunctional work environment, anybody you left behind, a toxic individual, they did not like you in the first place. They was just putting up a show. So they was trying to pretend they do like you. Sometimes it brings you a few cookies from home, or my wife made some cookies, you want to share and stuff like that, but they do not like you. They have never liked you in the first place. Okay? the only thing they usually enjoyed was the role you used to play in that family matrix, which would make the whole system appear like everything is normal. So nobody would see the dysfunction because there was a person to take up all that. It was like there was this bulletproof empath who would take in all the, the emotional punching bag, who would take in all this pain and abuse that was going on behind the scenes. So you best believe that another thing what may normally happen usually happens. I'm getting this information from my own experience and also from a lot of survivors that I've listened to. So another thing which is likely to happen is the whole family is going to crumble. If it's a job place, you may sometimes hear later on, 2 or 3 weeks later, maybe a month or two, somebody got fired or somebody left the job or the manager got sacked or stuff like that. You're going to hear the whole system crumbling. Because remember, I've told you guys one thing that normally happens when you walk out of these kind of people, dysfunctional narcissistic vampires. So you do walk away with your energy. That is one of the things empaths you need to understand. You do walk away and you do walk out with your energy. So the moment you extract yourself from those situations, that is when the whole walls are going to start falling down, come falling down. It may take a few weeks, a few months, it depends on the situation, but normally everything is going to fall apart. So you may hear about family members who left, you left the unit and then after 2 months, somebody else left. After 3 months, somebody else left. So they are going to start leaving one by one because now they are starting to realize that the entire thing is toxic. There's people who are starting to see it for what it is. There's people who want to see it, who see it for what it is and they take action to leave. But there's also people who see it for what it is and they decide to stay because that is what they have been programmed. They have been conditioned to keep the entire system intact, okay, so that everything will appear that is going normally and stuff like that. So for you to be able to survive in the matrix, you just need to understand how everything works, okay? You need to understand what is happening behind the veil, what people are doing, what they are saying. You need to read body language. You need to have the discernment to understand what is exactly going on behind the scenes, not only the things that you see. You should also pay attention to the things that you do not see, because those are the spiritual things that matter. So we've talked about smear campaign. We've talked about the family will crumble. They will sometimes hover you. They may sometimes, when everything has failed, they're going to try to appoint a new scapegoat in the unit. And it's going to depend on who is who. But normally, everybody that they will appoint will not take up that role because, a dysfunctional family system is an evil family system as well. I'll repeat this. A dysfunctional family matrix, a narcissistic family matrix is also an evil family matrix. They are doing a lot of evil behind your back, okay? We're talking about lies, gaslighting, a lot of manipulation and stuff like that. So we're talking about all these evil things. So there is no way for you to believe that when you walk out of that system, everything is going to stay okay and people are going to survive and do the things they've always done. Things are going to change around. The energy will shift, okay? So like I've said, the person who comes in, they're not able to take on that crap. It is too intensive for them and they're not used to taking that crap. So the reason that's why you hear sometimes people walking away or sometimes people staying in the system but staying behind the scenes. They don't normally put themselves out there because they kind of feel or even understand that there is some patterns of toxic behavior going on behind the scenes, okay? So if you're a scapegoat or a black sheep that has left the unit, let us know in the comment section below. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I'll catch you guys in my next one. There's a most signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.